You ever make something where you impress yourself? That's what this feels like. I'm just shocked that it looks like eggs, number one, but the taste. Hey y'all, if you want to get right into the recipe, then go ahead and skip ahead here. If you have fibroids and you want to know why eggs may not be the safest thing to eat, then stick around. I have something for you. Hey, I'm your host, Shelly Wellness. I'm on this journey to elevate our consciousness around food, and I invite you to join me. On this channel, I'll share recipes created with mindfulness, rooted in wellness. Welcome to the Mindful Plate. I was a flexitarian for years, often eating a vegetarian diet. Egg frittatas and scrambles with hearty fillings were my favorite. But once I became a mindful eater and started minding my food, a few things became apparent. Let's start with eggs. These eggs that I was eating were nothing like the eggs on my grandmother's farm in Jamaica. They smelled funny and the color was off. So your girl did a little digging behind the scenes, and guess what I found? The chickens who laid these eggs were not roaming free like my grandmother's, and they definitely weren't eating the same feed, y'all. According to an article out of the University of Kentucky, commercial chicken feed commonly contains things like fish, meat, and bone meal, and all these are grounded up. And then that's considered a nutritious and economical source of food. They also contain soy, which is a dominant protein supplement. And as someone who has experienced living with fibroids, I quickly discovered that soy products are agitating and create more pain in the womb. And pain is something I can do without. But what I wasn't about to do without were eggs. I got into the kitchen and created this scramble. Part of mindful eating is conscious cooking. These ingredients came from my experience eating a Nigerian dish called egusi and a Jamaican dish called aki. The texture of them remind me of scrambled eggs. To make our breakfast eggy scramble, we're going to need soaked pumpkin seeds and aki. These are going to help with the texture. We're going to use a bit of turmeric for color. And even though we have our texture and our color, it's not enough, y'all. We need the taste for this to truly transform into an egg-like dish. So to achieve that, we're gonna add our special ingredient, kala namak, or black salt. We'll also need a bit of water and whatever veggie mix-ins you want to add a dash of color and flavor. And we're gonna finish it off with a little bit of salt to bring it all together. Now, if you've been following me for a while, you know that I often cook with a vibe. Recipes are a suggestion, a guide. So when it comes to this egg dish, there isn't an exact recipe. You have to be in a vibe, and it's an easy vibe to get into. You're just trying to make scrambled eggs. So you're going to start with some soaked pumpkin seeds. I soak mine overnight, but you could soak it for a minimum of 4 hours and be fine. And what you see me doing here is rinsing and scrubbing off the green. This is not necessary. It's just something I do because it's meditative for me. And it also allows me not to have green eggs and ham. Hello, Dr. Seuss fans. So this just allows me to have eggs that look like a more normal color. All the green doesn't come off, but I try to get most of it off in the process so it looks like this. And once I have most of them off, I go ahead and I add these to a blender. And then I'm going to add just enough water to cover them. Again, this is not a measurement. And then I add in my kala namak salt and my turmeric, and I blend. And I blend and I blend and I blend until it's liquid, until the seeds are fully and completely broken down. And once that happens, I add it to a preheated pan with a little bit of oil because you don't want it to stick. And the point here is that you want the water to evaporate. So as this dries out through the process of cooking, it's going to curdle more and resemble scrambled eggs. So while it's cooking, you don't want to leave this. Again, this is something that you have to be present for. So you don't want to leave this. You want to let it do its thing. Don't scramble it and stir it around too much. Just let it sit as it is, and you'll start to see the water will evaporate and it'll start to get thicker. Once that happens, you can begin starting to move it around with the spatula. once it's thicker and you got the texture that you want and it's all dried out, then you add in your ackee. And you begin breaking up the ackee so that it resembles the same size as the pumpkin seeds that you have. And then at this point, it's cooked. You're really just focusing on getting the right texture. And you're, of course, adding heat to the ackee. You can add in your veggie mix-ins, add in your salt, and voila, you have scrambled eggs. And you may be thinking, Shelly, that sounds good and all, but I need to be able to get breakfast quick. I'm telling you, this doesn't take a lot of time. It does require your presence. It may not seem as simple as cracking an egg into a skillet, but trust me, this is not complicated. If you've ever poured a liquid egg product into a skillet and made eggs, this is the same thing, but the ingredients are elevated. When you eat this, your body will thank you. That's good. Wow. That kala namak, aka black salt, is what brings the flavor. And ackee and agusi just do a good job of standing in for that eggy texture. Yes. And also, for those of you worried about protein, made of pumpkin seeds. That's plenty of protein and zinc. Like, you're good on that. And you're not harming anybody, nor yourself. If you know that lately your diet has not been treating you right, I invite you into the kitchen to try this recipe and see if it leaves your body feeling better. As always, thank you for tuning in to The Mindful Plate. Get the recipe for this episode, click on the link in the description, join the newsletter, and as always, I invite you to like the video if you like it, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you next time. Until then, eat well and be well.